Hey guys, Ring It 421 here. Today's the day I paint another one of my rifle stocks. So I'm going to go through the procedure again, a little more detail than I did last time. I got a Bell & Carlson A2 style stock for my 223. I'm going to paint, so I'll go through the things you're going to need to do, paint it, and the stuff you need to do it. Okay, to paint your stock, you need of course the rifle stock. So this one I painted the action barrel, bottom metal. And what you're going to need is, of course, the paint. So I used the Krylon camouflage flat paint. And I got the OD green, brown, and I guess flat dark earth or whatever, tan color. And the stock's already black, so you get my black from the black stock, or you can buy another can of black. Then you're going to need painter's tape. I always buy the wider stuff because you have to put less strips down on your cutting board. You need a cutting board, a box cutter or a really sharp knife, and then an old coat hanger or piece of wire or something that you can put through, I guess, one of the bipod or sling swivels, just to hold it so you don't have to handle the stock when you're painting it. So that's basically all the stuff you need. Oh yeah, then if you want, get a piece of pattern, something that has the pattern on it, or you can go on your phone and get on Google, just get a pattern. So there's your pattern. What you're going to want to do when you're painting too, like there's less black than any other color on there, so black wants to be or must be your first coat, your first layer. So you're going to probably do 4 layers if you're going with a 4 color pattern. So start with black, and then you cut out the pieces, just kind of like get a rough idea, like something like that. Little squiggly shapes and stuff. Stick them on with the painter's tape. And then like on this stock, I want to finish it in like mostly green, so green's going to be my final coat. So the next smallest color would be tan, so I'll tape off the black, spray paint it tan, and then I'll put more patterns on, and then I'll spray it brown, and then I'll put more patterns on because there's kind of quite a bit of brown in this one. I'll just tape those off onto there and do my final coat of OD green, and it'll turn out sweet again, just like the last one, but the last one I didn't use brown. I only did a 3-layer paint coat or color. So this is the stock, and there's the Krylon, how it's holding up. This is a lot of shooting, so a little bit of brass nicks there from brass ejecting and dropping the gun or carrying it around, whatever. You get a little bit of nicks on stuff, but the barrel seems to be holding up real good. And I'm going to leave this scope alone because I'm not too fond of this one, but I'll just leave it. So we're going to do this stock today. So what you want to do is start taping off your black patterns, and I don't want the rubber butt pad to be painted, so I'm going to tape it off along this line here and start painting. So let's get to it. First off, remove the action from the stock, so you just have a bare stock, and I'm going to have to take off my bipod and sling. I'm probably going to leave this on and just paint over it, or you could take that off. I don't know, I'll decide in a few minutes when I do it, and then we'll get back to it when the action's out of the stock. Okay, so here, bottom metal's out, 2 action screws, the internal magazine box, and your internal magazine follower. So let's put that aside. And I have my rifle bedded, so you can see nothing's holding it on. But it's real hard to get out because the lug's bedded in there. So a little bit of paint came off on the bedding compound, but it'll go back on the same way, so it'll fit right back in. So what I tend to do is I'll just put the action screws and that back into the action just to hold it. You can see Timney trigger, Timney 510. Super easy to install yourself, fairly cheap, so it makes a world of difference on the Remington 700 compared to the X-Mark Pro. So that's the action out of the stock. I'll strip the rest of the stock down now. Okay, now that the stock's stripped down, and I took all those pieces off, I ended up, but the Velcro for the extra couple rounds of ammo, I'm just going to put some tape over it. I'll just rip this off and put a couple pieces of tape over top. I'm not going to paint that, it'll just remain black. I'm not sure what it'll do to the Velcro. And on the other side, I had a little flashlight press pad, like pressure pad there. And here is where, inside of my cheek riser pad, I have a piece of Velcro there just to hold it from rotating, keeps it all straight. And I'm not going to want to paint where it's bedded, so I'll just tape that off too. In the barrel channel, it doesn't really matter. But next step now is to clean it up, so use rubbing alcohol or something to take any grease off that's got like left on the stock from your fingers, your hands, or gun oils or anything. So I have these little alcohol swabs. I'm just going to swab the stock down, make sure it's oil free, and then we can start taping. Okay, when you're throwing down your tape, I usually start from the top, and you want a slight overlap, like a couple millimeters or 1/4 inch or so. So tape down, rip it off. It's not ideal with working surface here on the back of the couch, but so you can see maybe a 1/2 inch there overlap. Just layer tape layers down that way, so when you make your patterns, they can be bigger than just the, I think this is 2-inch tape, so any pattern bigger than 2 inches wouldn't fit. So I usually just lay down a bunch of strips like this and then go from there, because you're just gonna freehand like just any kind of random shape, woodland camo style, like that's what you need your pattern for. So kind of go off of that for your shapes. So just do that, and then for the black, they're more skinny, long, kind of like that or whatever. So just freehand it. So let's kind of do something like this. Left off there. You can have like a little spike out. It's hard to do with the camera in the way, but it'll come back on itself. So, and then they're pretty narrow pieces, so we'll just try to get back into the pattern here. You may have another jot off here. Cutting board's nice, you can rotate it so you're not pulling the knife up every time. Make sure you press a little bit harder when you go over the overlap. So there we go. So there's a piece there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of, yeah, hard to see if you're looking through the camera. But then when you peel it off, start from the top corner and peel your way down so it'll take the next piece of tape with it. So I'll also show you how I do that. So I'll start from over here, maybe get these two at the same time. So one up there, another one up there. Just peel it up. So you have your first piece of pattern to put onto the rifle stock. And it actually picked up both pieces here, but sometimes you have to start from the other side and come up too, because it might not pick it up. And if you don't push hard enough too, so. Alright, so I'll stick this spot, where's a piece of tape, make sure I'm in frame here, and hold everything in place. So what I'm doing now will be black after the rifle is painted. So we're just covering up anything you want black right now. Just push it on and repeat until the entire rifle is covered. So I'll shut her down right now and I'll turn it back on when I'm ready to paint. Okay, so my next piece, I'll show you a little trick here too. I just cut up here. I don't know if you can see, get the light to reflect right. But anyways, I followed it down here, back up, over, up, and back around down here. So you're just kind of building, cutting off that. And the next one, you can come down here and spike a few things out, kind of do that. And then you just lift it the same way again, so you start from the top. So I'll start from up here, raise an edge up, and then peel it back. And remember, if you rip it, not a big deal, because it's tape, Just kind of try to match up the slot so you can't tell. And then you get this next piece out, and it's ready to go onto the stock again. So I'll show you that. Oh, starting to rip. So I have that piece now. Bring the stock over. Okay, so this one maybe try to find a nice spot where it'll fit real nice too. So maybe somewhere like that. Try the other side. Maybe up on the fore end here again. Get this thing to stay put. Bring the camera in. Look down on it, and I'll work from behind the camera. Okay. So let's go like this. Work the edges down. Try to like make it stick as best you can too, so you don't get bleed from underneath the tape. That's why I use a frog tape. It seems to be the best tape that holds up to this kind of painting. You just keep following the pattern through, sticking all the pieces down. There's where a little rip happened, so just kind of get that rip back. Okay, so here's another piece of black for this rifle pattern. And then I'll do a couple more, because there's not too much if you look at the pattern there. So maybe a little piece here, there, whatever, that'll be covered, but do it anyways. And something around the front. The bottom's already partially covered with black. So next piece, and then we'll get ready to paint. Okay, so far that's all the tape I used to do the black pattern. So like 8 inches by 4 inches, and here's my pattern. So over the stock, that's going to be black, whatever's taped orange or green right now. So there's not too much there. Whoops, there was the tape. But there, that's going to be black, because you can see there's not much black on the pattern. So now you want to spray it with the tan or the brown, so whatever one you want least of. So for this one, I'm probably going to do the brown next. So I'll spray this brown. Actually, I have to tape that off still before I forget. Then I'll spray it brown, and then do this again, but a little bit bigger patches now, because the brown's a little bit bigger. It's hard to see now, getting dark out, but so a little bit bigger patches for brown. So you can do brown or tan next, it doesn't really matter because they're both about the same size. And then your final major color is going to be the OD green, so that'll be your final coat. And then when you pull all the stickers off, you should have a nice pattern like this. So that's basically it before I spray it. Okay, so I'm all ready to paint now. I have some stick-on letters. So I personalized the stock for my rifle. It's going to kind of be under the cheek pad or whatever anyways, but just wanted to personalize it a little bit. And so my first color, I'm actually going to use the tan now, so the red or the black letters stand out more right here. And that'll be it. Okay, so I'm a little later now than I expected, because I went to the hobby shop and bought some stick-on letters so I could personalize my stock. It's going to be under the stock pack anyways on the back, the cheek riser, but it'll just be there personalized for me. So I'm going to spray it with the tan now instead, just so those black letters stand out a bit better. So I'll spray it with tan, and then I'll tape off a big area to like highlight those letters. And then I'll cut out some more stencils, and then do the brown, and then cut out a few more small ones, and then do the OD green, and it's all done. So this is the way I'll end up spraying it. I use the coat hanger, bend it a little bit, and then I bend it away from the stock, just so you have like a little bit of gap, so you don't make clothes hanger lines in there. And then just shoot it from about a foot away, light coats, then maybe go over it twice. Do it like all the way around both sides, and then let it dry. It doesn't take long to dry, this Krylon paint. So you're probably looking at about 10 minutes at the most, and then you can put your next set of stencils on and spray again. So I'll get to that and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I just hit it with the paint now. You can see it's still super wet. And what I tend to do is do real light coat at first, and then just keep spinning it, going over the whole stock, make sure you don't miss any spots, because then you're going to have to do another coat. But usually one good heavy coat does a trick. Let it dry till it's not tacky to the touch, and you can already maybe see right here that it's already starting to lose its shine, so it's getting a little bit flat, and that means it's starting to dry up. So that's coat one. So everything that's covered with the green tape is going to stay black, and then I'll make some more stencils off camera here, and then we'll get the next coat. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, and I can touch it now without leaving fingerprints. You can see I'm touching on the tape just so it doesn't mess it up if it's not. You can see right there a little bit wet still, and right here I went got a little bit of a run, but you can't tell because it dries so like flat and smooth. So that by the time that's dry, it's just like kind of a wet spot right now. So I'll have to watch when I paint in here next time that it doesn't run. So next coat will be the brown, and for cutouts, I don't know if you can see them, but they're big now. There's everything I use for the black, and then I'll try to see if I can get a different angle with reflection here so you can see. Yeah, so these are the new pattern, so it's just kind of like using up the rest of that tape for, that's going to be the tan. And then I'll do brown, probably a little bit bigger spots, because don't be afraid to overlap kind of thing. Like, put them over these stickers a little bit, and then like it'll be tan and then the black inside with brown around it, kind of thing like that, and then that'll be it. So I'll stick these on pretty soon, just kind of wait till that dries up. If you have a hair dryer or something, that'll really speed up the process. It's kind of cold down here. It's like -30 outside today, so that's another thing too, like spraying it. I did it pretty quick just so it wouldn't freeze up. But okay, that's the so first now coat. I have my tan pattern stencils on, and you can see it. You have to push them on and make sure they seal up all the way around on all the sides, so whatever is green right now will stay tan after it's painted. And I'm going to spray it with brown, and then I'll do this one more time, then I'll hit it with OD green, and that'll be the final color. And then just wait for it to dry, rip off all the tape, and have a look. So I'll get to it now. I'll start spraying those with the brown, then we'll show you what it looks like. I'm frozen, and there's the brown coat. So I'm going to have a better look in here. It's dark outside, I'm just kind of feeling it out as I spray. Looks like I got a good coverage on it. So now just got to wait for this to dry, make some more stencils while it dries, and get back to the final coat, which is OD green. So at this stage of the game, I used up all my tape, so I'll rip off whatever's left there, lay down another coat, another bunch of strips of tape, and this one is my final set of stencils. I'm just gonna kind of put them wherever. That's just going to keep whatever is there brown, and I want quite a bit of OD green on there, so we'll just make them probably with the same size as the ones I just put on for the tan, and see how it turns out. Okay, so I have the next set of stencils cut out. These ones are a lot bigger, so they're just going to kind of overlap everything. I'm just going to slap them on, and then I hit it with the OD green for the last coat. And then you basically just let it dry to the touch again, and then you start peeling everything off. So let's go have a look here. So it looks like it's dry, and usually I test by touching something that's like the masking tape. So if you're not leaving any fingerprints or nothing, then you're good to go. So I think that's good. So we'll start there, put the tape on, and then I'll get back I'll show you when I have a tape on it, and then we'll spray it OD green. So I have all the cutouts on the stock now, and kind of sprayed OD green. So wherever everything that's left on here will be OD green, and then when I peel them all off, we'll have a look at what it looks like, how the final pattern turned out. So I'll get to that right now. Man, it is cold out there, but hopefully that doesn't affect the paint in any way. But there you go. So we'll see how this turns out when it dries. Then I'll peel off the decals on camera just to have a quick look. You guys can see just the same time as I do what it looks like. So there we go. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes-ish, and that's 3 coats of paint, and leaving each one about 20 minutes in between, just until like it's dry to the touch. So now let's start peeling and see what we get. So where do we start here? Alright, Velcro. There we go. Velcro's black still. And try not to... Actually, we should take this off. Don't need that there no more. And here we go. There's black. Got some brown. Some more brown. Stuff out the action. Well, now that I see it all together, it actually doesn't look bad at all. I was kind of worried about the bleeding of the black and the tan color, but as you can see, looks pretty good. So flip her over, not too bad. A little bit of bleeding in a few of the colors, but yeah. For a $10 paint job, looks pretty good. Even the paint on the bolt held up pretty good. So I painted that like in the action, closed, and it's holding up pretty good. So no complaints. Timney trigger, Remington 700. So there we go. Bell & Carlson stock, turned out pretty well. Camouflaged, put everything back on, looks alright. I'm going to roll with it. It's not hard to repaint if you want to do that. But there you go, there you have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Give it a try, it's not hard. And you have nothing to lose. Acetone or another kind of paint thinner will take it right off. Start fresh. Thanks, take care.